All right, I need to go get something real quick. I'll be right back, and then we can start.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Timmy. I'd like to play a game. You call yourself a film auteur, but yet you choose to ignore true classics from master director David Ricardo. You refuse to talk to him even in your writings, your videos, even on your own film podcast. For now, I will not allow you to ignore that anymore. For now, you see, you must face a challenge, a test, if you will, of discussing two just fucking awful movies. You have done this before, but can you do it again? If you fail, gas will fill the very room you're in. It's not poisonous, it's too expensive, not in this economy, but it's really, really stinky gas. It's like dead skunk and rotting garbage. If at any point you decide to not continue discussing the movies, the room will fill with the gas. And this shit will linger on your clothes and everything. So people think you'll shit your pants. No one will believe the truth. So will you sit and discuss these movies? Or will you deal with the smelly smells? The choice is yours, Timmy. Let the games begin.
The live and die, the choice is yours. But I guess I'm not really dying at any point.
Hey
in
guys,
this, so.
yeah, sorry, I just had to grab something real quick. Anyway, let's start this discussion. Let's not delay it any longer.
Oh,
3,
oh my God.
2, 1. Ah! That's my Chris Rock impersonation from Spiral, everybody. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to Nefarious Reels. I am Ninjedi.
And I'm John Kramer.
And we come here with a special guest, and
It's me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you good. We fucked that up. Just finish what you were gonna say.
well, no, I did finish.
I'm a Jamaican nanny that smells like jerk sauce and baby wipes. Now I'm going to drain the battery of my phone by watching Twilight. And those are the only quotes from the movie that I can honestly remember. So, no, just kidding. I'm Timmy.
Back
Yeah,
again.
just kidding. I'm Timmy from TimJongUn Productions, the dumb shit guy that makes weeb shit on the internet. So,
Yeah, welcome back. This is your second time. How's it feel to be the first official second timer on the podcast?
oh, I feel great. I deserve a gold medal. I deserve a trophy. All the prizes for willingly coming back to this again.
Yep.
So,
We're sending you a participation trophy, don't worry.
Yep.
until, you inevitably bring Luca back again for another episode, which then means my achievement just doesn't mean anything anymore. So
But you're gonna have to send
Yeah.
the trophy back.
And then I get to send
So-
it to Luca then.
You send it to Luca. Because ladies first, right?
yeah, I mean, of course, but I don't know. I don't have a good response for that. So
Yeah. It's too solid of an argument to really, go against.
yeah. I mean, we gotta succumb to the woke mob, the liberal agenda,
We
or
gotta
whatever.
kiss up to all the libtards.
Yeah,
We need
exactly.
free speech back. And comedy
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, stop making comedy woke. Stop forcing me to play video games with pronouns. That's stealing my identity or whatever.
Yep.
You gotta thank Elon Musk for bringing comedy back to Twitter.
But speaking
He
of
brought back
they,
freedom.
them,
And
Oh,
freedom.
no, go ahead. Yeah,
No,
and freedom.
he
Yeah,
brought
the
up
sound of freedom.
and he changed the name of Twitter and made it better. He called it X. So you only have to say one syllable, not two. So it's better now.
Yeah, which sounds like a porn site.
An abbreviated porn site.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've looked at the screen for 5 hours. I didn't even look at porn that long.
Yeah.
We talked about. Well, we didn't talk about.
Speaking of porn.
we saw movies.
I
Yes.
mean, you guys subjected me to softcore porn and boring teenager movie with torture porn. So I basically was forced to watch porn anyways.
yeah. So
for
it's
this
just
podcast.
Yeah.
an average Nefarious Reels episode.
Pretty
Yep.
much, yeah. So I wonder why that is. I wonder why it's only the bad movies that just have, just are just subjected to Like, why are the only? I don't. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. Why is it only the bad movies that have the hottest sex scenes in movies? I don't understand. So
Because that's like the one thing they know they're gonna get people to see, so they gotta make that the best, and everything else is just filler.
at that point, just make porn.
But in this woke media, in this woke timeline,
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah. I mean, what's next? Do we apparently have to respect women's rights or
oh
something?
my
Yeah.
god,
What a woke.
Oh,
disgusting.
oh my
Yeah,
god.
gross.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
kill me.
what
Disgusting.
Just
woke
kill me
times we
now.
live? Yeah. Yeah. So
But
next, you're
enough.
gonna tell me that climate change exists or
Oh my
something.
god.
So,
Oh my god. And you're gonna tell me that pronouns exist too?
ugh,
And then you're gonna
gross.
tell me that
Oh.
nouns exist, and it's like, ah,
And
Next,
you're
you're
gonna
gonna
tell
tell
me
me
the earth
words
isn't
exist.
flat?
Yeah. So,
Damn it.
mhm.
but let's start the discussion. We'll start with the retro pick, which was mine, and I recommended Deathstalker, which is about Deathstalker, Mr. Stalker, if you will, and he's
Sir Stalker.
yeah, Mr.
Oh,
Stalker.
so his first name is Death. Okay. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I mean
badass.
maybe, or maybe it's
What?
like Mario Mario. Maybe its name's Deathstalker, Deathstalker.
I
Ooh.
assumed it was Death. I assumed Death was his first name because everyone kept referring to him as Stalker. So I just assumed that Death was his first name. So
It could
It could
be.
have
yeah,
been.
But yeah, so Death is tasked with collecting three magical items to defeat like a evil wizard guy like Bellrock or something. Or I don't remember. It was like something. He like a wizardly name. I think it started with a G, like Gorgo, or like
like,
Jeremo or something like
does
that.
it matter? No, that's none of this matters. Like it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, so he's
It really
taxed
doesn't.
with collecting the three magical MacGuffins, so that way he can kill evil wizard guy, and things, and then he goes compete in a tournament to defeat wizard guy Gorgo. So, Timmy, what do you think of Deathstalker?
Uh, I guess the music was kind of banger.
I mean,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I mean that's honestly the best thing I can say about the film. The music kind of rocked, but yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing. I was expecting a bad movie because, that's kind of you guys' shtick.
yeah,
But when I heard like about all the
Hmm.
explicit sex scenes in the movie, I was like, well, at the very least, I'm gonna get like, if not an entertaining porn, then at the very least, like, I don't know, like a, invigorating porn type. But it
like
was like not even that. Like it was just like kind of if this was like if someone marketed this as like a like Game of Thrones fantasy like porn parody or whatever, I would be so disappointed because on from that perspective, the film doesn't even live up to that standard. It's just like incompetent fight scenes that look like they were shot and edited by babies and then just constant like scenes of women just like flashing their tits in front of like Death, Mr. Stalker,
yeah, Mr.
and I'm
Stalker.
just sitting here and going like, is this it? Like, is this the whole like is this just what happens? And that's pretty much it. That's just all that happens in the film. Just like poorly shot and edited fight scenes and then random sex scenes that aren't even that hot, if I'm
Not
being
really sex
honest. And
scenes,
then
more
just
like
that
implied sex. So you don't really like see them do it. They're like tussling, and then they like stop, and then like that's the whole thing.
yeah.
It's like that
It's like watching
YouTube.
a sex
Oh, I was gonna say it's like that YouTube edit cut where like they'll put like porn scenes on there, but they cut right before the sex happens. You'll
exactly.
get like the
Yeah, yeah.
innuendo and sensual stuff, but like once it gets to like sex, they're like, gotta cut it because YouTube will flag this as inappropriate and I get demonetized and kicked out.
Yeah, this looks like a random sex scene from like The Room or something like that. It's like slightly more competent than that. Like
Except
but at least with
Tommy
like
doesn't.
the
Oh yeah, it's more like The Room, but like not 5 minutes long with Tommy Wiseau putting his dick in someone's belly button.
It's like the
yeah.
room, but less consensual.
Yeah, I guess so,
Yeah,
pretty much. Never thought about it like that.
Yeah, because all of
So
them, because always all the men always coming onto the woman, and they're always like throwing themselves onto them. So it's all comes off of more of like at worst, it's implying some grapes, and at best, it's just inappropriate touching, which like.
I mean, it's
I
like a
mean, yeah,
pick your poison
medieval
type of thing.
times,
Yeah.
and they're evil. I guess that's like the implication. But like Miss Deathstalker kind of like takes part in it too, or like I guess Deathstalker's the good guy because he doesn't not do it. He like changes his mind right before he does it because he's always like right about to do it. Like in the beginning scene, because you got the guy and he captures the girl and he's gonna grape her, and then a bunch of random goblins show up and then scare him off, and then they're gonna grape the woman, and then Deathstalker comes, kills everyone, is about to do it, and he goes,
He grapes her.
nah. He's like thinking about it, and he's just like, oh, I'm
Nah.
tired, and I just swung my arms around,
Wasted.
and he just like frees her, and then that's like the whole thing. And it's like, wow, he's the good guy because
He's a hero.
After thinking about it, he decided not to.
Yeah,
That's
he's the
what
good guy
we
because
should
he's the
show
one who
kids
didn't.
in schools, especially teenage
Exactly.
boys.
He's the
Like,
good guy
let them
because
know.
he didn't stick. He didn't stick the P in the VG. The other characters, they wanted to stick the P in the VG, but this one he just went to first base first, because that's okay.
Yep.
Like we can't go to home base yet. We gotta hit first, maybe second base.
You
Like,
also got to
Jesus
remember,
Christ,
no means no.
except when it
Deathstalker
doesn't.
knows
Yeah,
that.
no means
Yes,
no.
except when it doesn't.
So, I mean, but at the same time, for whatever reason, like everyone just wants to fuck him. Like there was this one scene where discount Mark Hamill like duels this like one girl who's not wearing anything and she's just naked with like a cape on,
She's wearing her like
and then
bikini
like
armor.
yeah, it's like, and
Mhm.
then later on, like he's just on top of her, and then she just flashes in front of him, and then they just do it. I'm like, what? Just did something happen in the
Yeah.
middle where like it
Deathstalker's
naturally
just
progressed to that, or they just did it?
Deathstalker's just
So-
irresistible. He's like the big hunk the big
Oh, yeah.
hunky muscular guy that everyone's supposed to love. But like Deathstalker's like this charisma. He has anti charisma. Like he takes charisma from like everyone and just like removes it out of the movie. He's so unlikable, or no, not unlikable. He's boring. He's just
He's
like
You're
unlikable.
so boring.
Yeah,
what things of
it's-
actual interest.
You're so dull.
He's like a bad like in an action like fantasy movie. You need like your lead to at least have a lot of charisma to kind of like carry it. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mhm.
I'm assuming he's good in Conan. I didn't watch it because it was like 2 hours long. And I was like, I'm not sinking time into that. Or Deathstalker 2. Deathstalker 2, Deathstalker is way more funny and he's like way more fun and actually has like charisma. And Deathstalker 1, he has nothing. And maybe that wouldn't be a problem if he was like a straight man to like more like zany sidekick characters. But all of, like the sidekick characters are also like really boring. You have like horny guy that like gets killed off really quickly later because he betrays Deathstalker. You have the goblin guy turned human, and he doesn't do anything. And then of course, like you said, you have like the naked woman who they just have sex, and she doesn't appear anywhere afterwards really, except when she gets like stabbed by like a guy, and then she like
Did they get
disappears for the whole movie.
Did they get actual porn stars to be in this movie? Because I know in the second one they
Playboy,
definitely hired
there
one, but
is-
like
In the first one, there's like a Playboy bunny in the movie. I think she plays the princess. She plays the princess.
Okay.
That's like the only one, I believe, or at least the only one that I know of. I didn't bother checking out the special features on my Blu-ray because it was just commentary tracks, and I didn't want to rewatch Deathstalker again because it's really not that fun to watch.
there's nothing to have fun with. Like
No.
this doesn't even work as like a porn. Like I could probably find like versions of this like better porn versions of this like on Pornhub, and unironically not only would they be more fulfilling, they would probably be better made as well. Like let's be real. Like
I mean, if you
Oh, yeah.
if you want to watch a good Deathstalker movie, just watch a Deathstalker 2 because it's actually good. Like if there's one thing to take away from this discussion, it should be watch Deathstalker 2. I'm just saying that right now.
Okay.
okay.
I'll keep that in mind. And I was about to say too, Timmy, I loved when you mentioned Game of Thrones because I remember it was like wasn't it like the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones where it was a lot of like just tits and a lot of like nudity, weird sex scenes, but like well written at the same time. Because this, honestly, I could see this feel like a $5 version of Game of Thrones at the same time.
Yeah. Like not even like a yeah, I was gonna say like a porn parody, but not even that because it doesn't even work as a porn. Like it's just yeah, it's like if
Hmm.
teenagers or like edgy teenagers like made a Game of Thrones parody, then this would be it.
And that's
Like
unfair to
Yep.
teenagers because that would probably have been way more gory if it was a bunch of angsty teenagers. They're like, and then he slices his stomach and all their guts pull on, and he grabs them, he rips them out, and starts strangling someone else with them.
also, but I get that, but you also have to keep in mind that this movie looked like it was made for like 25 cents. So they probably didn't have a well, I was gonna say they probably didn't have a lot of special effects to work with, but that doesn't explain like a lot of the puppetry that they had that weirdly had access to. Like a lot of like
Hmm?
weird like costumes and stuff like that. So I guess they could have splurged into more like
They
gory
had the
violence, but I guess they
big pig
didn't.
character, and he was the best one.
Yeah, but they didn't because
Hmm.
they were lazy, I guess. I don't know. So
They had to cut costs, and what's better than hiring people who potentially were in porn?
They were just like,
yeah,
hey, yo, they got it because they did have the one Playboy bunny. He's like, hey, they went to like a bar and they're like, hey, yo, want to be in our fantasy movie? We got a Playboy bunny in it, and you get to see some tonkers, some badonks.
yeah, they probably. I mean, they had to pay for the breast enhancement surgery somehow, you know. So,
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
you know,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
in today's economy with all of the healthcare costs, it's like they ain't cheap.
yeah, you got to pay for it somehow. So,
yeah.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
the adventure of Deathstalker is because like on paper, Deathstalker needs to find these three magical items, and one is the sword that he gets almost instantly in a really weird way because he transforms into a child. And like that never happens ever again. They're just like, to leave the cave with the sword, you must be a man, but also a child of the inside. And then he just transforms into a child and leaves, and it's like, what?
that was so weird. I was like, what was the point of this? Like, I don't,
Like
I
I
don't
thought it was like, oh,
understand.
this is like a setup where he has to like sneak in like somewhere in the palace, and he's gonna transform like a child and like sneak on by, or
Nope.
maybe there's like a tight hole he has to go into, and he'll transform a child and fit there. It's like, nah, that's just like the one scene. Like the financial of the movies are like, I got my nephew wants to be in a movie, and we're making a movie, so put him in it. And they're like, okay, Deathstalker turns into a child, and there you go, he's in the movie now. This is his
Yeah,
big break.
Hmm.
yeah, I've yeah, like what else? I don't know what else is there to talk about. You know, it's like because at a certain point, what little I was paying attention to the plot just immediately disappeared. Like in all honesty, and I'm not even joking when I say this, I think this would probably work better as a hentai because there are plenty of like fantasy like isekai type hentais out there that like try to have like some kind of a story while also having it be as an excuse for lots of like really like weird ass sex scenes. Like I honestly unironically think this would work better as hentai.
So,
Like this
so
was
you're
just such a
saying if this
waste of
was just
potential.
an anime, you would have loved it more?
I mean, not really, because that wouldn't explain why I hated Island of the Giant Insects, you know, and that's basically a hentai too. So
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I don't know, but his whole thing is like he needs to find the three MacGuffin items, and he easily gets the sword, and he easily gets the what was it, like the necklace? Like he easily gets
honestly, like
that, and then there was like a third item. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was
I
like a
forgot. Yeah,
an hourglass or something.
something like
He
that.
just gets
Yeah.
everything
So
easily, like the and it's so that doesn't get interesting because you think, oh, the three MacGuffins are hidden in these three secret areas that you must travel to and learn riddles and fight monsters, and that doesn't happen. Then there's this big tournament which the evil wizard guy Gorgo is holding, so he can kill anyone who can possibly challenge him for the throne. And it's like, oh, we'll get a bunch of like one-on-one fights between Deathstalker and a bunch of enemies, and that doesn't really happen. Deathstalker fights like what, like two different guys, and one of them's the cool pig guy, and that's it. And then that never goes really anywhere.
No, it does
in a
not.
certain,
Like the fights are
it
just like super underwhelming too. Like it feels like there's a lot of stake to them, but there's never
The stake
anything that
is, oh no,
happens.
Deathstalker might die, but there's no stakes because we're never properly set up with any of
No.
these fights, with the exception of like the pig guy. He's the only one that actually has a proper setup because he's like beating up everyone when the big fight happens in the I don't know, the grape room that they were in during like before the tournament. But
I
that's really it.
honestly,
Hmm.
yeah, I honestly don't remember like anything from the second half. If I'm being honest, like Why is like the main villain wizard's like motivation? He has no motivation. I was gonna his like
Yeah, I'm trying
reasoning
to
like
think of what it is.
His
But I
yeah,
motivation
can't
like
think of
is
what was his
to
like why does he need an heir? Like I don't understand, like because they
he
even
doesn't he
said
didn't
like
need an heir because he's immortal. He wanted to take out anyone he considered was strong that could possibly defeat him and take over. That was the motivation, which is really dumb because why hold a tournament at
yeah,
all?
but,
No
like
one seemed really
why?
interested in challenging
Yeah,
you except for
exactly.
no one seemed interested in taking
Exactly,
him out
like
except for Deathstalker. Why don't you just wait for him to show up and then kill him? I feel like you just like you put extra steps in this plan for no reason.
yeah, like they make it seem like he's this like big like Darth Vader bad guy, but like no one really seems to give a shit about the fact that like he's the bad guy. Like everyone's just kind of like
Hmm.
whatever. So it's like I don't know what the sense of urgency. It seems like the only people who actually care are like that homeless king that Deathstalker was talking to in the middle of the forest while he was eating chicken. That was also really weird. I was like, what is all this? Like I was
Yeah,
just
that just
sitting
came
there
out
and
of
I was
nowhere.
going like
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Like that things just happen and then they just end and it's like okay, I guess that's the end of that then, I
Oh yeah,
guess.
that's what
Like
our feelings were in the last two movies we watched in last episode.
yeah, so but
I don't know.
yeah, in all honesty, I don't know what else is there to say. Like I'm just that's that, I guess. Like
I think the only two
I don't
things of note in my mind is how Deathstalker's reason to even go on this quest is just the shallow, oh, I will give you a title in this. And Deathstalker's like, nah, I don't need that. And it's like, and then you can have my hot daughter. And it's like, ah, there it is.
oh, pussy? Oh,
Yeah,
hell
that's
Ooh,
yeah.
that's
Yeah, I'll
really
do
sign
it for
me
that.
up.
which
Yeah.
once again would be kind of a funny joke, except once again, Deathstalker has no charisma, so it's like not funny in the slightest.
He don't got that Riz though.
And the other
Mm.
thing
But in a way
is
that kind of makes that funny though, because he can't act for shit and everyone's taking this so seriously. That's kind of what makes it funny. Like that was like this wasn't as like boring and or insufferable as like Spiral, which we'll get into later, but like this was like
Hmm.
kind of funny in the sense that like everyone was taking this so seriously, and I find that just absolutely hilarious. So
yeah, Deathstalker 2 is a little less serious. Like this, apparently, this is the story. Is the director Jim Wynorski and the person who was playing Deathstalker in Deathstalker 2? They looked at the script and went, "Yeah, this is fucking awful. We're making our own Deathstalker movie," and it's great. Once again, watch Deathstalker 2. In fact, after this episode, after we're done recording, you all need to go watch Deathstalker 2 like immediately. Like I'm not making the rules. I'm just telling you that's how it is. Oh,
It
and
sounds like you're
okay.
making some rules here, just saying. You're like manipulating us.
yep.
But I will watch it though.
Okay, that's good. I guess my one last thing I have to say about Deathstalker is I like the ending where the wizard gets defeated and then all the villagers just like tie ropes around his limbs to have the horses run off and then he fucking like, explodes in a meat explosion. And like I clapped and I stood up. The fucking
I
ending
honestly
of Deathstalker had more like Saw meat explosion than the Saw movie we watched this episode did.
I know, which is crazy.
Yes, somehow. That's actually impressive.
Not really impressive, just really sad and pathetic. That's I would
Or
say that's a
sad at the same
better.
time.
It
Yeah.
can't be both. It can't be all of those things. Why should
Oh,
we
it
limit it to
can.
just two things? Let's have it be all of it.
I guess that's true. So, yeah, well,
That's
yeah.
what
I
about
mean,
you, Cole? You're the last one. Anything you gotta say
Yeah.
about that stalker?
I mean, anything other than just like I was also kind of grateful this was under hour and 20 minutes because it did feel like a lot of filler for most of the part. But I will say I did like the pig design. I don't know why. The pig was kind of cool. He made me think of one of those pig guards from like Return of the Jedi, so
Oh
maybe
yeah,
that's
that.
why.
Maybe you think they stole that from like the George Lucas form?
Oh, I could see that.
Wait,
I th-
when did Deathstalker
Wait,
and
when
when
did
did
this
Return?
come out? Return of
Did
the Jedi was 83. Oh, they both came out in 83.
oh my god, who stole which design? Did George
Ooh.
Lucas watch
hmm,
Deathstalker in a theater and went, that's a great design for the peak guards in Jabba the Hutt's place?
he
I
was in the
feel like
middle
it's
of a
the other.
jerk off session. He was in the middle of a jerk off session and he just like stood to appreciate. Oh wait, that's actually kind of cool. I'm gonna use this in
I'm gonna
in
use this in
Return of the
my
Jedi.
movie.
Yeah.
I would
So
love to believe that, but I don't think that would be possible because there's no way that would be in that's such a short of a time frame. Mostly because you don't know how long it took to make Return of the Jedi, and making that design of that pig guard was probably took some time. And
Okay,
I could definitely see it where the director of Deathstalker was like, "I like that pig. I'm using him in my movie."
okay, no. But what if Return of the Jedi, they shot the Jabba the Hutt stuff last? So George Lucas was able to see
Oh,
Deathstalker first, and since they were already doing that part last, I was like, oh, we should use that as the guard design.
yeah. He's like, we should use this as the guard design
I'm
for
going to
the
steal it, and
Jabba
no
the
one will
Hutt
stop me because
crew.
I'm George Lucas, and I made Star Wars.
Yeah, I made one of the most popular movies of all time. No one's gonna hate me.
Yeah, I will be beloved forever. Especially with my new movie I'm planning to make, a prequel called The Phantom Menace. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be the best Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi.
I mean, Shaq said it's greatest movie of all time, so if Shaquille O'Neal says so,
And
so
Shaquille O'Neal is never wrong.
Shaquille O'Neal's never wrong.
You gotta love that juicy Shaq meat.
yeah, this is the guy who started Kazam. He obviously knows
And
great
Steel,
quality
Cold
film and he's
Steel.
And Steel.
Yeah, Steel.
and Steel, yeah.
And he also had his game Shaq Fu.
Which got remade for the
I forgot about
Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously he knows everything.
Every single thing about movies ever.
Exactly.
Yep. Damn straight.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I had a joke, but we went off on Star Wars, so I forgot about it. So I'll just have to interrupt in the spiral discussion when I remember it.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's
But if
talk
we have-
about this piece of shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
So-
Cole,
Yay.
introduce us to the modern movie that you picked, you bastard.
Yes. The modern movie. I mean, out of all the Saw movies, I'd rather talk about this one for this because I kind of enjoy all the other ones in certain different ways.
Mhm.
But yes, Spiral from the Book of Saw, which is honestly the stupidest title for a Saw movie. Sounds like
really
a book
is.
of the sounds almost like a ripoff book of like the horror Bible.
I mean,
And-
that's because it looks and feels like it was made by like fucking teenagers or like pretentious douchebag film students.
Yeah,
Or both,
These were
like
made by
people who just got
douchey
out of film
teenagers
school.
who are the children of the parents that were once the edgy teenagers that made Deathstalker. It's all
Yeah,
connected.
maybe.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
But yes, Spiral from the Book of Saw, or as I like to call it, Saw Spiral. It's a not they don't call it necessarily a Saw movie because it doesn't take place within the well, it's in the same universe with John Kramer, but it's in a different part. But they know
Yeah.
who John Kramer is. And Detective Zeke Banks, played by Marty the Zebra,
Mhm.
and his new rookie partner detective Shank, they have to solve this investigation of all these murders to police officers and detectives in their precinct, and there is a copycat jigsaw killer on the loose, and Zeke is going to have to find out who this is and play this game. So yeah, this is also my 5th time watching this movie.
Why?
So I definitely have a lot to say about this.
Like, why?
Why?
Why would you watch it 5 times?
um
Like, 3, like, I could understand, but like 5?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, like,
one
that's about
was
as-
early. One was earlier this year, just to prepare myself again, because I'm a crazy sadistic freak who just gets off to bad movies. For
Did you
some
like
reason.
get like stuck in a trap? Did like Jigsaw capture you and like made you watch like Spiral at like one point in its entirety,
No.
or you die?
No, one time was to just like rewatch it, just to be like, okay, was it that bad? Is it like that bad as people are saying? And then one was for the Saw marathon I did last year, and then this time we did around for the podcast. It was again this year. So, and then I saw it in theaters, which I think why I liked it the first time was because it was like in that theater setting, they were letting like more people in to the theaters, like not as much distancing after the woke vaccine came out, and we were all able to, not breathe that political
And
mask
have
air.
actual fun.
Yeah, we can have fun. We can
liberal
like
propaganda. Yeah.
we can actually start breathing in our friends' faces without being
I can
arrested
finally
or
cough
something.
on everyone again.
Yeah,
That was what I missed the most at the time.
yeah, but like every viewing since, it's like this is one of the just most honestly pretentious movies I've ever seen for a Saw movie. Like
Yeah.
I was watching some of like the special features behind the scenes stuff, and it's like Darren Lynn Bousman sounds like so far up his ass in this. He almost sounds like he's making like the next The Thing or like Denis Villeneuve's Enemy. Like he's making something so thought provoking and something you're supposed to interpret while you're watching or make you be thinking this whole time. Like, dude,
Thinks
you're
he's
making
making
a
like
Saw movie.
yeah, he makes it sound like he's making like the fucking Shining or some shit. Like shut the fuck
Exactly.
up. Like you not only are you making a Saw movie, but you're making the worst Saw movie because like here's what I'll say about the Saw series. Like you can say whatever you want about them, but they're not boring. Like
Yeah.
some of
Oh
them might
no.
be more entertaining than the others, but like
Mm-hmm.
the last thing you can say is that they're boring. Like they're so like
They're always doing
fun.
stuff.
There's
At least
always stuff
something is happening.
happening.
Yeah, there is at least something happening. Like even the ones that Darren Lynn Bousman directed, which was Saw 2 through 4, shit
Yep.
was at least happening like every couple of minutes in those films. But in this movie, like 90 minutes of nothing happens and then the movie ends. Like that's it. Like 90
Yep.
minutes of like just bullshit and then just well, that's it.
The
Then play the Saw theme music now. Time to go.
yeah.
Like what? You
Yeah.
know, like that was so unsatisfying. Like everything about this movie is just so unsatisfying. Like I was, when the first time I saw this, I was watching it with Cole. In all honesty, like this is the first Saw film where I was genuinely trying to stay awake because I was like falling asleep like every now and then in the film because it was so like uneventful. Like literally nothing was happening, and even the traps were just like the most bullshit lazy things ever. It's like because what's fun about the saw traps is that like there's at least like some like semblance of a chance to like escape
Escape.
them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like there's some like opportunity for you to like beat the game, but in this movie they literally just like stick someone's tongue in like a machine and then explode from a train and then the other just gets covered in hot oil. Like what about this is supposed to be like even
Scary.
taking that aside, yeah, like nothing is scary whatsoever. Like honestly, the scariest thing that happened in the film was realizing that the movie was 90 minutes long because that was like an hour and 30 minutes of my life just like disappearing. Like they just shoved so many like stupid jump scares which half the time weren't even jump scares. They were just random moments of Chris Rock either screaming or standing jumping out
That was my
somewhere.
favorite part of the movie when Chris
When
Rock
he
goes
screams in the
when he
car.
goes in the car and he goes like ah. That's my
Yeah,
And
favorite
they
part
that
of
do
the
was the
they
movie.
only
try to do that shaky cam
Yeah.
to make it feel
They're
like the
like,
Saw
okay,
movies
you need
from
to scream, but we're gonna
2000s.
edit it to remind you that this is in fact a Saw movie.
Saw movie, yeah. Like yeah, it feels so fake. Like it's so artificial. Like this movie felt like if like Chat GPT like just analyzed Saw 1 through 10 and then just like shat out a movie based on what it like analyzed. Like
Yeah.
it feels so hollow and artificial, you
And the
know?
weird thing
Like
is, like we talk about, what's the director's name again? It's like Darren
Darren
whatever.
Lynn Bousman.
Aaron Lynn Bousman.
Yeah, but Lynn Bousman. The
Yeah.
thing is, this is literally just Saw 4 2.0. Like it's like
Yeah.
mainly focused on like the main detective guy, and all the traps usually are more of an afterthought, and we only really see mainly the aftermath or like the middle of them while he's going exploring to the thing. And at the very end, he has his big confrontation, but it completely blows up in his face, and what he wants to accomplish, the exact opposite happens. It's literally just Saw 4 again. He just made the same movie a second time, but somehow made it even worse. How do you do that?
I don't know, but I will say, even with Saw 4, like Timmy mentioned, like it at least had stuff going on, like entertainment wise, and like the traps. I think, well, okay, not I think they were better, obviously. I mean, I really dislike Saw 4 because I think it's just such a frustrating movie, especially with the game in that, because it's all about how Daniel Riggs, like, well, Jigsaw goes, "Hey, Officer Rig, you try too hard to try and save everybody, and sometimes They need to save themselves. So these are the games you need to play.
Daniel
And then at the
Riggs,
end, it's like, if
stop.
you hear this, you did not listen to what I said, bitch.
I love how
You
Yeah,
did
it's
not play the game
unironically
right.
hilarious. That's the thing. It's like it's so stupid that it's hilarious. But like this movie like is so insistent on being taken seriously that it just sucks out all the fun of what's in a Saw film. Because the only parts about this film that I laughed at were just the unironic meme scenes, like Chris
Yep.
Rock's screaming jump scare, and then that scene where Chris Rock like walks out of the safe where the chief died or whatever, and he has that stupid face as he's
That
walking out.
stupid
That
face
that
that you're
honestly
looking at
made
my
me laugh.
Discord deck right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like that honestly made me laugh more than anything that happened in this movie. Like,
I
you
think
know, because like,
the thing
oh
I
yeah, go
laughed
ahead.
at the
Yeah,
most is like the ending, because in my brain, as we were going to the very end, when fucking, in my brain is like, what's the dumbest fucking way they can end this? Is literally having Samuel Jackson get gunned down police because he holds like a gun up or something, and that's literally what happened. I bursted out laughing, and then Chris Rock just
is that
says,
supposed to be a metaphor for something? Was that supposed
Is
to
it?
be a
It was
commentary
supposed
or
to be
whatever?
something about how, obviously, spoilers. His rookie detective partner Shank was the Jigsaw copycat the whole time.
what? No,
What?
but he was in
No
a trap.
way.
We heard the
I
tape. They
know.
just didn't show it to us. But
His
that's just
skin was getting
coincidental.
cut off. I can't believe it. Yeah, it was even more funny because it was like, what, 10, 15 minutes in? Timmy's like, he's the guy, isn't he? I'm like, how did you guess that?
It was just the most predictable fucking
It
shit ever. It
was.
was it's like and the movie just expects me to, like either the movie thinks I'm that stupid or like the movie genuinely thinks this is like some inherent like deep twist or whatever
Mhm.
because like the moment that little baby boy just like walked in it's like hi I'm the new detective your dad inspired me. I was
No,
like is
don't
that the
forget where you
Jigsaw
get is
killer?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, Chris
Yep.
Osmosis Jones, you need a partner.
Osmosis Jones.
Yeah.
Here's your new partner, Triceracop.
I don't need a partner because there's no one I can fucking
I can
trust.
Do I look like a Jamaican nanny? Do I smell like jerk sauce and baby wipes?
Yeah.
Ironically, the Saw film that tries its hardest to be so deep inadvertently becomes like the most
Yep.
shallow movie out of them all.
I know.
yeah.
Like,
Because its whole thing is, hey, you know what? Cops can be corrupt. Oh my
What?
god.
way.
No fucking
That's
way.
crazy. I didn't know
I
that.
never knew
Now
that.
my life has completely changed because I've now saw a shitty Saw spinoff.
And what's even the more funny thing is too was when this was originally supposed to be released in 2020 before like the shut lockdowns and all that, it was in like May. That was literally like the month right before like all those police brutality protests happened. So I'm thinking if they released it at around that time, do you think people would have said this was like some kind of underrated or misunderstood masterpiece of horror or something?
Oh, you think
I
it
would
would?
think
Of
so.
You
course
think it would
fucking
show
not.
up
No
on?
fucking way. There's no way people would be that stupid into thinking like because the only people I genuinely believe like would say that are like the same people who genuinely think like Old was like a good movie or something or like M. Night's Knock at the Cabin was like a genuine good movie. Like those are the same people who believe that
You would
shit, you
you
know?
would find some people on Twitter that would.
I
Well,
like
yeah,
Cabin in the
because
Woods. I guess I think this
there's
film's a masterpiece. I guess.
yeah, I guess so.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Damn, 10 out of 10. Gotta change my rating, guys. Sorry. This is a good movie,
Mhm.
and this discussion therefore is bad now.
The Saw voice in that they
Oh,
had
I hate it.
when they were like, I want to play a game. I
Hello,
genuinely like almost burst
detective.
out laughing because I thought that was like a meme. Like I thought that was like a joke where it's like, okay, movie,
Mm.
come on, nice joke, come on, show me the real, show me the real Saw voice or whatever.
You're like,
And then just
please
never
say
changed, and I
psych.
was like,
Yes,
God,
that text to speech voice.
Hello,
yeah,
Detective Zap. Detective
yeah.
Zeep. I am going to kill
Zeep.
the cop. Detective Zeep.
I'm glad they got neurotic male Siri to do the Jigsaw voice instead. Very, very ambitious. I appreciated that decision. 10 out of 10. So
Which I honestly find even more insane because, like, once you get deeper into the first 7 Saw movies or even Jigsaw, like, the people who, were the apprentices after,
They all
they
use
would
the
still
same
be
voice.
using the Kramer
yeah,
voice. Like,
exactly.
Because
okay,
it's
Yeah.
iconic.
yep. And this will be like a little spoiler later on, Timmy, but Detective Hoffman, who you saw in 3, he becomes Jigsaw later on, and they're trying to figure out who, in Saw 6, they're trying to figure out this one person that was killed in the
You don't
Saw
have to
trap.
worry about. I've seen all of them before.
Oh,
I
okay.
only rewatched Saw 1 through. I rewatched Saw 1 through 3. I haven't gotten the chance to rewatch Saw, but I've seen all of them before, like when I was in high school. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
you
yeah,
don't
I
have
was
to
even
worry. I've
okay. But I was even mentioning in like Saw 6, like, but yeah, when they were trying to figure out the Seth Baxter death because there was the Jigsaw piece cut out was from a different serrated knife. They were trying to figure out if there's another voice behind it, and well, it was like the FBI. Obviously, they have like this voice
yeah.
warping technology, and they're like, "Oh shit, it's Detective Hoffman." And now he's turning to the fucking Terminator
And then
and just killing
Hoffman
everybody because
accidentally
they know
spills
That's
who
his
what
he
was
is.
copy and,
so
and his
funny.
gun discharges 10 times.
Oh no, that's like the best part when he like just starts killing everybody. It's like the best.
It's great.
That was was so funny
Damn,
about those
6
like
is
previous
so
Saw
good.
movies is that like they worked their ass off to try to make their stupid overarching story make any kind of sense whatsoever. Like be like, well, actually Hoffman was
He was there
working
the whole
with
time.
Jigsaw at that moment. He was there the whole time. Amanda was there the whole time. Crazy, right?
And then Dr. Gordon was there the whole
I
time.
love the
Yeah.
commit. They committed to the bit. I love it.
Yeah, and I love every single minute of that. It's just the funniest shit ever. And there's just you don't have that in this one. Like it's like because there's no like half-assed overarching attempt to try and connect the story threads. It's its own thing. So already I'm just disinterested in what's going on. And then it just becomes like so insanely boring already. Like but the parts that normally would make me laugh are just so awful that I couldn't even laugh at that. Like for whatever reason, this movie plays like random rap songs, like for some
Yes.
reason,
It's
and I'm
because
just
they're in
like,
like the city and
Yeah,
ghetto.
because and it's Chris Rock's mixtape, I think.
oh, I thought just because they had black
And
people and they were
they
like
also
play
they
the
also had
rap
21
Well,
song.
yeah, that too.
Savage
But we're
on the
gonna say
soundtrack.
it. Hey,
So
we don't see color on this on this podcast,
yeah,
Timmy.
we're very woke. We don't see colors, so
Yes, we're
we're
very pro
very
Yeah.
SJW. We love all the pronouns, all the races. I don't see race. I only see one race, the human race.
What
Exactly.
about NASCAR?
Got him.
That's true. NASCAR, Garfield, Mario race. Yeah, there we go. So, comment below if you consider yourself a racist, racing enthusiast.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Quick, the racists are dying. Quote underneath if say I'm a racist to support us.
Hashtag I'm a racist. We are racists.
Hashtag
So,
I support racism. Put it down if you support all the races.
yeah, all the race cars, every single last one of them. So,
Yep.
yeah. In all honesty, I kind of like forgot what happened like during the second act because I was just kind of falling asleep. And then I only started paying attention once like the last like 20 minutes was happening because I was like, oh, thank God, we're almost over. I can finally like, go to bed or something
Yeah.
afterwards. Because like the plot
Yeah.
really just doesn't make sense. Which I get it's a Saw movie, so the plot doesn't make sense anyway, but like this was sort of like a frustrating, like pissing me off type of like doesn't
Uh-huh.
make sense where it's like this one is like trying to take itself seriously because it's trying to be some like fucking deep art house like horror movie or some shit. Like but it's just so lazy and so like boring and it's like I don't yeah, like how am I supposed to pay attention to any of this? Like I don't care. Like
I
where's the
think
part that I'm supposed to care?
something that because you point out like it's really boring because nothing happened, and I think technically the Saw films have that like arguably the same problem with all of like because this is mainly the detective side. Like this, it throws all the Saw chaps to the side, where in like all the
other Saw movies, you get like the detective side, and then you get mainly the trap side. And usually on the detective side, not much stuff happens because it's them going, "Where's Jigsaw?" or "Where is this trap happening?" And then not much really happens that way. But that's fine because it's mainly the trap stuff, and that's where most of the plot develops. And then we just cut back to detective stuff as they get like a little bit more closer to figuring things out. So you're not really bothered by it. But since in this film, all the trap stuff's pushed aside, it's not important. We just have to sit and watch them and go, oh, I wonder where the Jigsaw, not Jigsaw is. Oh, there's a trap. Okay, now we need to figure out where not Jigsaw is still. And then it's just that until, freaking Marty, the osmosis guy, goes, hey, wait a second, I'm gonna go over to this place, and oh, it's my partner, I thought you were dead. And now I think about it, something that really annoyed me is for, whatever his name, what, Charlie? No, that's the name of his fake son. But the rookie guy, he's like, oh, I have like
William
a wife
Shank.
and I have a kid. And then why doesn't Zeke call his wife? Because he should have figured out sooner. Because Zeke has a whole thing where the first cop guys is like, oh, you just sent like a text to his wife, didn't you? I know him, I'm going to go talk to his wife. And he does that like immediately. Why doesn't he do the exact same thing for his partner? I know why, because he actually doesn't have one. He lied about it. And if we have fucking Chris Rock go to check him out, then that's gonna be a problem. So we're not gonna do that. Let's just ignore that part.
It's like the most incompetent writing I've ever seen. Again, like especially for a Saw movie. Like I've said this before, it just feels like a Criminal Minds lengthened episode, but like they forgot about it and they're like, oh shit, we got to put some traps in here, make this feel like Saw now. So let's do that too. Let's put like the most half-assed traps you could ever imagine into this movie.
Yeah, a lot of the traps like feel like a fucking afterthought, which like doesn't make sense because again, this is a Saw movie where you go half the time for the traps.
My theory is this was originally just a detective movie, and then they crammed Saw in because they thought, oh, people like Saw, we cram Saw stuff in, and then we'll get more people to see our movie. Like, it was probably just originally just called Spiral or something, and then they just tacked it on later. Because they're like, oh, this is a story from this grand book of Saw that we made. And it's like, no, you didn't. You don't have a fucking book. You're just making that up.
Shut up. No, you didn't. Yeah.
No.
Stop lying.
Also, another thing that undermines the whole, oh, we're serious and our movie is deep, is why do you have so many jokes and quips and jokey tropes in your movie? Like Chris Rock, like this is his more.
It's because Chris Rock had an idea.
Like Chris Rock is supposed to, this is his big, like, this is his Oscar-nominated performance, right? Where he's playing this serious detective trying to figure out who Jigsaw is while dealing with, like, a force doesn't like him because he was them. But he's such a boring stereotypical detective of he's doing quips and he's doing jabs, and isn't he funny because he's just like, he's like a cop and he's a funny detective guy because, don't use my fucking phone minutes to watch Twilight and all that. And Hardy
Drain the phone battery watching Twilight. Haha. What a knee slapper.
Great line.
2020. When did this movie came out?
2021 officially.
Okay, yeah. So it's 2021?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Well, haha, yeah. It's 2021 and we're still referencing Twilight. What a hilarious meme joke. Whatever.
It's like, for all the women that came with their boyfriends to the movie. To be like, haha, Twilight.
I get that reference. I get that reference. It's you keep saying that there are jokes, but were there really jokes?
I think jokes is the wrong word. I just think about how he would keep doing comedy quips and jabs. Like Chris Rock would always do that. That's I think just jokes came out because that's like a synonym word that can go with quips.
I don't even think quips / jabs are even accurate.
No, there are jokes because it's when Samuel L. Jackson interacts with Chris Rock. That's their like joke when he's just like, where he's like, "What are you doing here?" I own the building.
And then he says, "What you talking about, Willis?"
And then he just says "motherfucker" like every 10 seconds because he's Samuel L. Jackson who has to say "motherfucker."
Yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson is just like phoning it in. Like, he's just there because he's here to get a paycheck and he say words and he throw things around. That's his whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, he got paid to, it's like, free lunch. You know, what are you gonna do? Are you
True.
gonna say no?
It was
So
funny
it's
how they
like
try to
such-
make Samuel L. Jackson look younger by throwing a mustache on him, like a fake mustache. That was a little funny.
Okay,
doesn't
let's
that make
okay,
him
wait. Let's get into
doesn't that
that
make him look
though.
older? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what? How
Let's
does that
get
work? Doesn't
into
it just make
that.
him look older? Yeah.
That's like
So,
Saw logic. Like, forget using like CGI to try and make people look younger. Like, you know how they did with Captain
backwards
Marvel when
baseball
they
Yeah.
cap.
made him look
Yeah.
younger. Literally,
Yeah.
like they did in Saw 3D. Just put a backwards cap
Yeah.
on him, put like a goatee or mustache on them, and they look younger. They call it a day. Even though both Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock looked older somehow.
Yeah.
It was
Like it
very
was like
weird.
the reverse. It was the reverse opposite of effect of what they wanted to accomplish. Like they honestly should have done that. They should have just worn a
They
backwards
should've.
baseball cap. Like that would have been so much funnier. Like when I saw Saw 3D and I saw Jigsaw, like John Kramer wearing a backwards baseball cap, being like, "How do you do, fellow kids?" as he gets his book signed, I literally
where's he?
screamed. I was like,
I was like,
"That was
"Where's his
the
skateboard?
funniest
Where's
shit
his
ever."
backpack?"
Yeah,
He's like getting
like
back from the height. He's just getting back from school because
Okay, now you're saying that, but now
School.
I'm imagining John Kramer when he like leaves, he just puts down a skateboard and just skateboards away at the table.
I need
Yeah,
I
he-
need that version.
yeah, he
I
throws a
need
gang.
that
He
in
throws
Saw
like a
X now.
he throws like a rock sign and just be like, "What's up, later skaters?" as he like skates away and shit.
Yeah, I need to go home and play on my Game Boy.
Yeah. Have you heard of those you ever heard of those VHSs? No thanks, buddy. I'll stick to the freshest form of video entertainment today, DVDs. You know. How you doing, home skillet? Like it would have been so much funnier if he just said shit like that. So
Oh god, I want that now. I really want that version of Saw 3D at this point.
I want
That's like the
Jigsaw to
best.
say I want Jigsaw to say how's it going, home slice? I want him to say shit like that. So. I do, and I want him to incorporate that into his games as well. Just like, what's up, my homies? Y'all want to play a game on the Game Boy and shit? Like, I want him to say things like that. It would, it would just make my day. So, but I'm glad we just stopped talking about Saw Spiral
And
for a
talked
second.
about a
'cause
good
it's so-
movie, Saw 3D.
Yeah,
Talk about
so
an
uneventful.
entertaining Saw movie.
Yeah, because like people hate the Saw 3D, but like to me that one
Saw
was
3D
just
is the
as
funniest
funny and
one.
entertaining. Yeah, it's like one of the
hilarious.
funnier ones.
It's just like an entire action movie almost. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's-
love what they did. Like, it was like, you know, the supposed final chapter. I'm like, why not the hell go out with a bang? Just
Yeah.
kill everybody
Just
at this
kill
point.
everything.
No cop survives. Joe Tuck
Explosions.
doesn't survive. Hoffman's just turning into the Terminator.
Exactly. Yeah. just be like-
Explosions. Dead body
I-
disguises.
Yeah, it's like Saw 3D. It's like one of the later like Resident Evil games. It's like it doesn't fucking matter. It's just the goofy fun time bullshit, but that's what makes it fun. Like I want John Kramer to be like, "No thanks, bro," or some, like it really like could have just devolved into that. Like it doesn't really matter, and that's what makes it funny. But like there's nothing funny about this movie. Like I mean, the film insists that it has quote
It's
unquote
deep
jokes
and it's
because
smart,
Chris talks,
but it's also
fucking.
funny. It wants to be everything.
Yeah.
And by doing so, it
Yeah.
becomes nothing.
It's a deep, thought-provoking film, and
What's the
you
line?
know,
You
it
chase two
changed my
rabbits, you
life.
lose both. That's what this movie is.
Yeah,
Do you think the
Yeah.
director just had a
Yes.
midlife crisis about being just like the Saw, making 3 Saw movies, and he's like, I'm gonna make this Saw movie deeper and it has more meaning and it has like a soul. It's not just a dumb slasher torture porn movie like all those other Saw movies. Mine is different.
Yeah, no. There is something like that. I remember watching also like some of the YMS commentary when he's talking about the movie, and basically it's almost summarized as Darryl Lynn Bousman being going like, "Yeah, I was like 25 when I made Saw 2, and I was like a baby then, but now I'm a full-grown man, and
I'm a full-grown
make-
man, baby.
Yeah, this
make
is a soft
I
movie
make
for big
real
boys.
movies.
yeah.
I make real movies, and
He-
this
this-
is my magnum opus because
no
also
babies
something-
allowed.
yeah, and also there was something in the like first part of the special features where they were like, some executive saw Chris Rock at a wedding and Chris Rock saw me. He's like, guys, I got this idea for a Saw movie. And that's how Spiral came to be.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
So some guy
Chris.
met with Chris Rock at a wedding and it's like, thank you, executive.
Yeah, Tobin Bell got kicked out of his own franchise because a Saw producer met a slightly famous person. Like,
He met Marty the Zebra and Osmosis Jones.
At least we're getting him in
This is why-
Saw 10 at least. He's coming
this is
Thank
why
back.
God.
everybody hates Chris. You know what I want? I want what Japan did to the American Godzilla, where in some other Godzilla movie they had the Japanese Godzilla like kill the shit out of the Roland Emmerich Godzilla, like just to kill it out
Oh
of spite.
yeah.
I want something similar to happen in Saw X, where they just bring back Chris Rock and whoever the fuck played the new Jigsaw in this movie. I want them to bring them back and then torture and kill them in the most like excruciating way possible, just out of spite. I just want that to happen, you know?
No,
So-
but really
Yeah.
funny is when Chris Rock showed up to see who the real Jigsaw character is. Just fucking, it's revealed to be fucking Will Smith, and he just slaps the shit out of him. That would have been
That would
funny.
also been funny. Yeah. There are so many ways to make the movie funny, but they just didn't take any of
No,
them.
because they want to
Instead,
take it
No.
serious.
Because they
Yeah.
took it, way too seriously.
Guys, just trust Chris Rock. He's a joke man. He'll come up with jokes naturally in the script. Because isn't that what they also said? They were like, we didn't write any jokes. We just let Chris Rock make the jokes because he's good at comedy. But then nothing that he
Yeah.
said was funny. It's like,
He's
what the fuck was
really
the point then?
funny.
Yeah. So,
He is the comedic genius.
God, this movie is just, I don't know. There really is. I don't know what else is there to say. Like, it's just so like they're just. I don't
Other
know.
than
We
being
gotta
filled
keep
with
milking
rage.
it. We got like another minute before we've been talking for an hour, and I want to milk that out. So we gotta keep milking this discussion for another 60 seconds.
Oh, I honestly might have
really-
even more to say that's longer than 60 seconds, but Timmy, go ahead.
I mean, I don't. I honestly have nothing else. Like, that's the thing. It's like I wish I had more to say, but I was so bored, and I was constantly like struggling to stay awake that my memory of this film is just constantly like evaporating like every minute. And I was thinking like, should I write notes? But then I was like, why would I bother? Like, I'm gonna forget about this movie anyway, and it's like I don't want notes to remind me that I saw the movie. It's like, what the fuck is the point? I don't want to.
It's bad enough you have
yeah.
to see it on your letterbox.
Yeah, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. I'm cool with that.
You can
I'm
live
okay
with that.
Yeah, I can live with that. You know, so
All right. What
like, I had
about?
Dragon Ball Evolution on my letterbox account. You know, that hasn't really
No,
affected
that's
my
true.
life.
That'll
much.
distract you
favorite
from your
movie of all time?
Spiral account.
Yes, my favorite movie of all time. Yes.
Your
so-
favorite live-action anime adaptation ever.
Right
Because
there,
they
right
only
next
make
to
good
Ghost in
ones.
a Shell.
Yes.
And Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. Yes.
And Avatar:
yes
The
to
Last
all of
Ender
these.
Airbender.
That's not anime.
Okay, fine. Let's get into semantics.
Yeah.
Cole,
I
next,
know.
You're going to be
next time we have
super
Timmy on,
picky.
we're gonna do Dragon Ball Evolution again.
Ah,
We're
okay.
gonna, next time we have Timmy on, just for that comment that he made.
Yeah,
Just for
you're-
that.
Just for that.
and because of that, I will never come back onto this podcast again. So thanks
oh,
a
you
lot, guys.
you will, you will. Anyway, Cole,
Agreed.
you had things
Yeah.
you wanted to say about Spiral?
Yes, I was gonna go back to like the traps and all that and how stupid they were. Like, yes, I get what they were trying to do, where like the games were like, you know, you lied a lot in the court of law, so you have to rip your tongue out, or your finger pulled the trigger. So here's these Chinese finger trap things to rip your fingers off. If you don't, you'll die because this copper wire will hit the water or something.
You told me to pull your finger, and
Something
I did, and
like
you
that.
farted. So now I'm gonna have you pull out all your fingers and see how
Damn
funny
it.
it is now.
But like when it's like, and when you watch all of them, yeah, they're not like tense, they're not scary. They don't even have like the editing is somehow even worse and even more amateur feeling than like the Saw movie, like the original Saw movies. Like, yeah, they obviously had to like cut corners in the first 7 with the lower budgets they had and had to do all that real fast editing. But it almost weirdly like added on to the tension to some of them. Like you had like the reverse bear trap in the original, and then oh god, what's it? I mean, then you got like the shotgun carousel in Saw
Yeah,
6.
iconic.
And like you could feel the tension in those. Like you could be like, oh shit, these people actually have decisions they need to make for either themselves or for like the people that they're trying to either save or obviously get killed.
Oh, another thing I
Oh,
want to point
yeah.
out, but like the motivations of not Jigsaw is really bad when he's like, I want to kill all the corrupt cops, and yet you're doing these Jigsaw traps where they have a chance to escape and live, and then continue being corrupt in some way still. Why don't you just like kill
Yeah,
them normally?
obviously. And in those, in John Kramer's games, they were all like, hey, you've done this bad thing, or yeah, you screwed me over in some way. So, like, I'm gonna go back to Saw 6 because it's like the most entertaining out of all the Saw movies. But it's like, hello, William, you denied my health coverage because of your stupid little algorithm. Because healthcare coverage is decided by the insurance companies. So I'm gonna put your
Algorithm to
I'm
the
going to put
test.
your whole algorithm and formula to the test and see what you would do. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is awesome. Well, not only is like John Kramer like a woke ass healthcare for everybody advocate, but he's also
He's
like,
a socialist.
yeah, he's a goddamn socialist. He's like Bernie Sanders, that fucker. But he's also just going, you're algorithm is kind of messed up because you forget to add the will to live in there other than people who need it rather than can have it. And I'm like, John, this is why, okay, I don't want to say he's like the hero, but he's kind of got a point with some of the story. But then even like Saw 2, you have all those convicts that were arrested by Donnie Wahlberg, and then his son was also in the mix. And it's like, what happens if they find out he's the son of that detective that's been arresting all of them? It's like, oh shit, that's an interesting little side plot. And they're also, breathing in poisonous gas, so they don't want to die.
It's not a gas; it's a nerve toxin.
Nerve toxin. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Or even like Saw 5 also, which also is like one of the more lower rated ones out of like, or lower ranked using the Saw franchise, but it made more sense because even though it's not like anyone in particular like we saw from earlier in the movie, it was all about these like people who were a part of some kind of scandal that happened within the city, and he's like, you have to find out who all of you are, and then maybe you'll work together. But obviously they're like selfish as hell and they don't, do that.
Yeah.
So then once it gets to the final game, they're like, oh shit.
Oh, this
I'm
sucks.
like, haha, you're dumb. And then fucking Jigsaw, it does like the stupidest shit where it's like, confess your sins. What did you do wrong?
Oh, that's
I'm like,
Jigsaw.
who are didn't I say Jigsaw?
I thought you were talking about Spiral at that point.
No. I meant
well,
Jigsaw.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like Jigsaw,
okay,
it
gotcha.
starts doing the stupid bullshit that I kind of think goes also into
Confess your
Spiral.
sins.
Yeah, like confess your sins. I'm like, who are these people? How are they all connected? They all did
At
like
least-
one shitty thing. Why are they all in the same game?
Plot wise, at least there's an
It was
excuse
just-
of that's the very first game, and John Kramer was still trying to figure out his shtick.
I guess, but it also didn't make sense at the same time because they had high def HD screen TVs in the barn. Like, how does that make sense?
The Kramer
If this game took place
invented.
10 years ago.
That's what the plot of Saw 10 is going to be. John Kramer invented the HD TV, and then someone stole that idea from under him, and now he's putting them.
And
through
then
the
he's
test.
gonna put him in the
And
game
revenge.
to kill him. Got
I was
it.
gonna
As
say,
revenge.
if someone told me that was the plot for Jigsaw, which like I already heard about the HT thing like before I even saw Jigsaw. Well, I mean, I say that, but I still haven't seen Jigsaw. I just heard that was like a complaint, and I was like, that would be
Yep.
kind of hilarious if like John Kramer created HD flat screen TVs, but then someone stole that idea from him, and they were trying to like patent the idea or whatever. So he's trying to kill the person who's trying to patent the HD flat screen TV. That would
Yep.
have been fucking hilarious, So
Yeah, that
but-
honestly would be hilarious if they made it more fun with us, obviously with Saw.
That's what I'm saying. That's
mean,
what
I
Saw
just
10's going
want
to
them-
be.
I just want that I got the expectations like lowered because I know it's like a Saw movie, but I also am a little excited at the same time because Kevin Gruder's back to
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he made the two most entertaining Saw movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives me hope that we're going to go back to those just stupid, convoluted storylines that make no sense but are funny. And it also feels like a soap opera at the same time.
Also, the guy play
Exactly.
Hoffman, he's coming back as well. Probably plays Hoffman.
I don't
so
know.
Big hype.
I hope
Amanda's coming
there's
back,
rumor.
right? Or
Yes, in the trailers,
Okay.
yeah, she was.
I looked at.
But
So
there are
apparently, in the
rumors
description, it
possibly
happens
people-
between 1 and 2. So they're bringing the gang back together.
We're getting the band back together, guys.
yeah. It's like the Avengers. It's like I'm assembling a team and I need you to come back or whatever.
I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
God, big hype. Big hype for Saw 10. Or is that as much hype as I can give a Saw movie?
Yeah. Anyone else doing Saw Patrol though?
No, I'm just watching Saw. I would have done the Saw FNAF combo, but they're not. So I'm going to have to watch the FNAF movie twice instead on the same day.
To compensate, yeah.
Hyped for Saw 10, but not as much as I am hyped for the FNAF movie.
Only the
I'm still-
finest of cinema.
Exactly.
Yep. I was still hoping they would keep it on that release date because those two would have been out at the same time, Saw X and Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was like, shit, that would have been a great double feature. Nope. We have to put a Saw movie next to a movie that's for literal babies.
Because, Barbenheimer was so good, right?
Yeah, because Barbenheimer was a where Barbie was for babies, but then, Oppenheimer was for the boys.
The Virgin Oppenheimers versus the Chad Barbies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we were supposed to be talking about Spiral.
Honestly, yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
I'm-
Spiral.
It sucked and we all hated it.
But the ending was kind of funny because you just get that like weird Chris Rock screaming face, and then you get Shank where he does like the little shush because that was a callback to the flashback where Chris Rock's former partner shot the guy's dad, whose name was Charlie, and then Chris Rock told him to shush, so the kid, I guess, wouldn't get shot or rat him out.
So what you're saying is this all would have been solved. It's just Chris Rock also shot the kid, and then everything would have been fine.
honestly,
Yes. We need
Chris
more
Rock has shot
child
everyone-
murder.
yeah, if more kids died, instantly better movie. I'd add a 0 next
Instantly.
to the 1. Yeah.
Oh, it would have like screw all the flaws. It would have been a masterpiece if there's more child murder. I love it.
Yeah.
It would have been like a
So-
whole just beware children at play kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris
but
Rock just walks over,
this
literally
is-
just shoves the gun in his mouth and just shoots him, and there's a smiley face behind him. Just like in Beware
Exactly.
Children at Play.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess that's all we got to talk about. I said milk it for a minute. We milked it for about 11. So good job, everybody.
Yay. I got my
Anyway.
whole ranting out for this
You
movie.
got your Timmy rant for Spiral out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But this doesn't even deserve that, if I'm being honest. Like, this doesn't deserve my rants, but I'm very charitable with them. So, but yeah, this is easily like just the worst Saw movie. I hate this movie.
all right.
It is the worst Saw movie.
All right, well, since we've discussed both movies, this is the part where we decide which one is the better of the two. Timmy, which film did you prefer out of the lot?
I guess Deathstalker, because I saw tits and that was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree.
Yeah, that
was
I'm
about
also gonna do Deathstalker because I don't know. I guess Deathstalker is a better adventure fantasy movie than the fucking Spiral is as a Saw movie or a detective movie or like a movie. So yeah, giving it to Deathstalker. Okay, Cole. Now you're gonna pick Spiral because it's your favorite movie of all time, right? Because that's why you recommended it.
Yep. You're goddamn right.
Because you talked about it so much, you clearly loved it.
Yeah,
I
you
have
must love
a
it.
true passion for this.
Okay, but Timmy, the real question is, was That's My Boy better than these movies?
Ooh.
I would sooner rewatch Deathstalker, like out of the three first, but then afterwards I would rather watch That's My Boy again than watch this film ever
Damn, yeah,
again.
take that, Chris Rock. Adam
Because
Sandler's
Adam
better.
Sandler is hilarious. Wake
Who
up, people.
coincidentally was in Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2 with Adam Sandler.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
There we go. Possible future recommendation? Question mark with Timmy. We'll see. We'll see.
mm,
In a perfect
maybe,
world, yes.
but we
But-
don't live in a perfect world.
No,
In a Barbie world.
unfortunately. But with that out of the way, we can move on to our questions. And if you have the questions, remember to ask them so we can answer them. Especially, well, I mean, well, not now because Timmy's here. He's not going to be in the later episodes. He's not coming back for at least another like 2 or 3 episodes. So,
Yeah,
You know,
he's like
yeah.
our backup in case if someone else backs out, like Jules last time.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I'm good for.
But we'll
So.
start with the first question, which you might have already answered, Timmy, but you're going to have to answer it again if you have, which is from Mattias, which is, how would you rank the Uncharted games?
Oh yeah, I've done this before. Yeah, I can do that easily. From best to worst, 4, 2, 3, 1, done. There,
Okay,
did
but
it.
what about the spin-off game on the Vita?
I've actually never played it, so I can't
and
even
so
like
you're a fake fan.
attest to
Fake
that.
fan, everybody. Fake
Oh,
Uncharted
no.
fan. Get him out of here.
Yeah,
Cancel him.
get him out of here. Yeah, I'm
Get him outta
canceled. I'm
here.
done. Yeah,
And
I'm
where would
done.
you put the Uncharted movie with Dirk Diggler and Spider-Man?
I would rather. Okay, well, after Uncharted 1, the game, not the movie, then there would be a pile of horse shit, and then there would be the Uncharted movie starring Boston Texan man from Transformers and the devil all the time boy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. The only 2 Uncharted games I ever played was 1 and 2, and by play it, I mean I played it for like an hour each at like a friend's house. So I guess if I had to rank them, it would be the Uncharted movie first because I watched the whole thing, and then Uncharted, probably 1 because they have that like weird monkey zombie things, and then 2 would be last because it's the one I barely remember, and then the Vita
Yeah.
game.
I've never played an Uncharted game, so I don't know how. So my ranking is just the Uncharted movie with Dirk Diggler and Mr. Cucklord Tom Holland watching Challengers with Zendaya.
All right, iconic, very good list all around, except for Timmy because he didn't play the Vita game, unfortunately.
Yeah. So my
Yep.
ranking is worthless
Yeah,
by
your-
that logic. Yeah.
Your ranking's
Obviously.
invalid, unfortunately.
I understand. I understand. So
Okay, so next question is from Robert, which is favorite and least favorite Tarantino movie.
I think I have a list of Tarantino.
I've
Give
only
me a sec
seen
to pull that
2,
up.
so luckily I actually have a favorite and least favorite. Kind of similar to when I answered the Christopher Nolan question. I had luckily seen 2 at the time. Let's start with least favorite. Mine is Death Proof.
Yeah, that is
Specifically
also my
the
least
extended
favorite.
version. I think
That
that
is the
one's too
only one I
long.
have not seen from him yet.
maybe just the Grindhouse version's better because it's shorter. I don't know, I haven't seen it. But the extended version standalone movie I did not like. I like Stuntman Mike. I like the stunts, the driving stuff in the movie. I didn't like anything else in it.
yeah, same thing as you said. Yeah, I didn't really get much out of Death Proof in terms of favorite. Not to be well, actually, Cole can give his least favorite first, so never mind. I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Death Proof would also be my answer. So
Yeah, so for me right now, my least favorite, and mind you, this is still like an 8 out of 10 for me. It's Kill Bill Volume 2.
Damn,
It
you
was
you hated it.
Yep, I did hate
Only
it.
an 8 out of 10. You hated the movie. Oh my god.
I know. I'm disgusting.
yeah, you asshole.
I know.
I've never seen any of the Kill Bill films. That and Jackie Brown. Those are the only Tarantino movies I still haven't seen. So
Volume 1, I think is pretty damn good, especially action-wise. And then the second one's a little more slower, and I saw these like whenever Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was about to come out, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch all the Tarantino movies before. And then I was like, I'm not big on the slower pace in Volume 2, so that's probably why I have it lower, but I definitely want to rewatch it again just to see where it goes on a second time around. Because I think it might be a little better than I gave it credit for. And maybe I will stop being a hater at the same time.
All right. Well, now we go to favorites. And my favorite, which is the only other Tarantino movie I've seen, is Jackie Brown. Pam Grier has a great performance in it. Samuel L. Jackson is in the movie, and he's better in this than he is in Spiral, although I don't think he wore a fake mustache, so I don't know if it was that great.
Yeah, no, he
Next, you'll
doesn't
tell
in
me his
that one,
performance was.
sadly.
Next, you'll tell me it was better than his performance in the 2013 Old Boy movie.
Oh, man.
We'll have to see. I haven't seen it yet, but, you know, the court's still out on that one.
Please do not watch the 2013 Old Boy. I beg you.
Oh, because you want to recommend it, and you want to get my
No.
like, pure reaction, right?
I've already seen that piece of shit twice. I don't want to watch it again.
Well, that's your own fault. But what about you guys? What's your favorite Tarantino's?
Well, not to sound like a basic bitch or anything, but, you know, it's Pulp Fiction, you know.
I was about to say the same thing. Pretty base,
it's
but,
that
you
good.
know, it's
I mean, there's
damn
a
good
reason
movie.
it's that good.
If
Yeah,
it's
there's
so
a reason
good,
why.
why don't we ever learn what's in the suitcase?
Because
That's
it's
bad
up to
storytelling.
interpretation.
Well, you got me there. 1 out of 10,
Damn it.
worst movie ever. Yeah.
No, it just goes to a 5 out of 10 now.
I know.
Not worst movie, but it's most overrated now.
I need to watch
because
more Tarantino.
we don't know what's in the
I have
box.
Reservoir Dogs on 4K, so I don't really have an excuse. So I kind of need to watch that. Maybe I'll love that one more than all the other ones. The other two that I've seen so far, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know. Quentin Tarantino needs to make a horror movie and release it in October, so I have an excuse to like marathon all of them.
He really should. Yeah, I'm surprised he
Apparently,
hasn't.
they're all yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to our last question, which is also from Mattias, which is rank the Saw movies, which is not a question, Mattias. You should know better. We're only answering this one out of like respect for all the other questions you've asked.
Fuck you. Yeah,
fuck
ask a
you.
question
Mattias.
next time.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
fucking
but
question. We don't want
Do the
statements in
proper
our questions.
punctuation. Proper punctuation matters. Like, did you not learn that in English class?
Yeah, get woke.
Anyway, we
Yeah,
can just
get woke like schools are today, apparently.
I know. We'll start at the bottom, which is Spiral, because did you not just fucking hear a whole conversation about it? So we'll
Wait,
skip.
it's not at number 1? Shocker.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I think all the other ones are just a little better because they have like a little bit more Tobin Bell in it than in Spiral.
Just a little more
Just
Tobin Bell.
a little,
Hey,
just
there
enough
was
to
a
give it the
picture.
edge over all the other ones.
They had a picture of Tobin Bell in Spiral.
Yeah,
They
but
had
he
it on
didn't
the
say a word.
clipboard. He did not say
Yeah,
a
there's
word, though.
that.
That is true.
Listen, I watch Saw movies for that sweet, sexy Tobin Bell voice. Okay.
He does have a pretty damn good voice, though.
Yeah. So we'll skip Spiral because we all know it's on the bottom. Let's go right up to our number 8 spot. For me, it's 4 because it's just a slightly better Spiral movie.
Well, here's the
Saw
thing.
4
like,
is just Spiral, but you hear Tobin Bell speak, so that's the only reason why it's higher.
Well, I just want to say that, like, I feel like I'm not well equipped to answer this question because I haven't rewatched Saw 4 through 7 and then haven't seen Jigsaw yet. So I feel like I'm gonna have to abstain from this ranking. In some point in the future I will answer this question, but I want to rewatch Saw 4 through 7 and then watch Jigsaw first before I properly rank all
Fair.
of them. So
Okay, you can just tell us your thoughts on the Saw video game.
oh yeah, well,
Ooh.
masterpiece.
I kind of do want to buy that.
I played
Just to
some of
play
the
that?
first one. Maybe that's what I should do this month, along with my I should beat those 2 games before I go see Saw X. So I can have the full Saw experience as it was meant to
Yeah.
be seen.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
But Cole, what's your number 8 spot?
My number 8 is Jigsaw.
Wow,
Because, like I
hated
mentioned before, I really think the twist is like kind of the worst out of all of them because of it's mostly like it just creates so much more plot holes, and I just also didn't really give a shit about any of the actors at all in this. Like they all seemed like they did some shitty thing, and that was like their whole character. They, especially in the game, they were just all like, you had your husband sleep on your dead baby and suffocated the baby, and then you were drunk being rowdy in the back seat of your friend's car in high school, and you jumped out, and your friends crashed in their car and killed another person, and you sold a faulty bike with bad pump gas brakes to my nephew, and he died on impact like 5 minutes after you bought.
He bought this faulty motorcycle, and then 5 minutes later, he died choking on a hot dog he was trying to eat. Unrelated, but I'm gonna kill you anyway. Because maybe if he wasn't driving,
was not part of it.
Maybe if he wasn't driving by that place with his motorcycle, he wouldn't have stopped to eat that hot dog.
Yeah, it wasn't even a regular hot dog. It was one of those vegetarian hot dogs that Smoochie would always recommend to people to be healthy.
Oh man, I didn't think I'd get
It's a rocket ship.
I didn't think I'd get a Death to Smoochie reference in this Saw ranking.
Cole has been dropping these like crazy the last couple episodes. I think he actually likes the movie.
No, it's just it helps me relieve the pain of that movie.
All right. Well, my number 7 is Saw 3 because it commits the cardinal sin of being like over an hour and a half long.
It's almost 2 hours.
2 hours.
It's so painful.
It's a little funny. I know a lot of people get annoyed about how slow Jeff is at everything. I find that kind of funny. And I don't know why, but I keep laughing every time Tobin Bill says, "That you just shot Jeff's wife." I find that line just so funny.
Yeah, that was kind of...
That I agree. Twist. You shot Jeff's wife.
You shot Jeff's wife. That was funny as shit. I was laughing pretty hard when I rewatched that. Yeah.
You just shot Jeff's wife. Maybe it just makes me think of the Brad's wife meme. Maybe that's why it's so funny to me for some reason.
Oh, maybe.
But it's funny because it happens again in Saw 3D because Dr. Gordon says Jeff's wife in his accent, and I laughed there too. Anyway, Cole, your number 7?
My number 7, Saw 4.
Saw 4.
Yep.
Pretty much probably for the same reasons as mine, kind of.
Yeah. But I will say it has one of the funniest transitions ever in a movie.
Oh, when she throws him through the mirror?
Yeah, when he throws that one girl into the mirror and then it breaks, obviously, and then it transitions right into the police station. It's a gut buster.
It's iconic.
It's hilarious.
That's a good one. I forgot. Maybe that's why I gave Saw 4 a 2 instead of a 1. Maybe that scene really shined.
Yeah, and then you also, but I mean, there's like one cool kill at the end though when Donnie Wahlberg's head explodes with the ice. Yeah, that was actually kind of cool. I'm like, okay, movie, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
My number 6 is Jigsaw because it's pretty. The detective stuff is boring and predictable and bad, but I like the trap section. I find it funny. I liked Ryan because he was an asshole. All the other characters who were so holier than thou, like, oh my god. So I loved Ryan just being a complete asshole to him, so that made him great. And it's funny that he's the one that figures out the trick that Jigsaw was selling at the end instead of the main girl in the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
So I got the validation of my favorite character lasting the longest out of all of them in the trap section.
I mean, that's also one thing Jigsaw also has for me over Spiral. It at least had Tobin Bell in a scene.
Yeah, Tobin Bell shows up.
And it adds more to Tobin Bell.
Which John Kramer. Even though I haven't seen Jigsaw yet, I know for sure I'll like it more than Spiral because it has Tobin Bell. So already I'm already more invested.
Tobin Bell, and it actually has a couple fun traps.
Which it really is all you need in a Saw movie at that point.
Oh, it's funny. One of the people that he tries to kill, he's trying to kill them because they put the wrong label on they put the labels on the wrong X-ray. So Tobin Bell gets super cancer because of it.
He's like, if that fuck up didn't happen, then my cancer would have been figured out earlier.
But now I have super cancer because you didn't.
Yeah. And now I have extra cancer. God damn it.
I have super duper cancer.
I have super mega ultra cancer now. Your number 6, Cole,
My number 6, Saw 3.
because Jeff's wife.
Yes, because of Jeff's wife. It was honestly, I kind of did like the grungy version of an ER episode though, when she's like doing the surgery, but then Amanda's like, "You gotta keep him alive because he's all I have to live for."
He's my
And
daddy.
and
He's
she's
Daddy
like,
Bell.
yeah, he might have put me in a trap and all that, and almost made me split my jaw right open. But
But that was so hot.
I'm suffering from Stockholm syndrome, and he's like my daddy now. He's my sugar daddy, and he helps me kill people now too, because he's gonna die because he has super duper mega ultra super bazillion cancer, and he wants me to take over the reins now. So
And no one else, because there's no one else involved in this
there's
at
no
all.
one else involved at all.
But-
It's only us.
But then
Even though we were able to lift that one detective and that Donnie Wahlberg, I guess, was like fucking on the side in Saw 2, whatever her name was again.
But then
like,
Amanda dies and gets teleported into Dead by Daylight. That's what happens. That's what happens. Canonically, that's actually what happens. Like, look it up. I'm not joking. It's literally in the Dead by Daylight thing. There's a thing that says Amanda dies, and then she wakes up in the Dead by Daylight universe and begins hunting down everyone in there, pretty much.
oh, so that's her
It's
afterlife.
actually
Okay.
canon.
Okay, I see. This is Amanda's version of her afterlife. Got it.
Okay, but number 5 for me is Saw 5. Because
I have Saw the final chapter, but you go Saw 5 first.
yeah, number 5 is Saw 5 because I don't remember. I think I liked the trap. I think that was it. I enjoyed Hoffman. I think Hoffman's actually great. Can I just say I really enjoy Hoffman, like all these
Hoffman?
movies?
He's like the second best character in this franchise, other than obviously John Kramer / Jigsaw.
Like I was like hesitant when people were like, "Oh well, Hoffman it comes like the Jigsaw, the killer guy," and I was like, and then you see a bit of him, and it's like, that's not much. But like as it goes on, he's like, oh, he's so good. I hope that he gets like a big role in Saw 10.
He's great. I hope he's back for Saw X. There's
I
like
hope it's not
rumors
just
that he
for-
might be. I hope he's back because
It's listed in the letterbox
he's
thing,
my favorite Jigsaw.
so I hope so. Second favorite Jigsaw.
Yeah. I mean, if Amanda's
second
coming
favorite
back,
Jigsaw,
then
yeah.
most definitely. Yeah, if Amanda's coming back, then definitely.
So.
I mean, but you said Saw Final
yeah,
Chapter is your 5?
Saw the final chapter because yes, it is entertaining, but the twist at the end was kind of stupid with Lawrence Gordon. Like it just honestly felt like they were trying to do like one less shock for the fans before they ended the whole thing, and it's just like, whoa, another person was in on it the whole time.
Okay, but what
And
about that
John
ending
also
scene?
gave him a foot.
Okay.
He gave him a wooden foot, guys.
No, but wasn't it hilarious when he pulls the hacksaw and he throws it at the screen? That's like a big 3D effect. You go,
Yeah, because it was a
"Whoa!"
3D effect. Yeah, that was awesome.
But speaking of Saw 3D, that's my number 4 is Saw 3D because it's the funniest one. I had a blast watching Saw 3D.
I also want to mention one more thing about Saw 3D, since that is your number 4. Did you also really enjoy that like trap at the beginning where they're in like a museum kind of presentation, the love triangle?
Yeah.
And Jigsaw basically goes, Dina is a whore. She manipulates you, and she's toxic. So you either have to kill one of each other, or you kill her.
Gina is a thought.
She's a thought.
If she breathes, she's a thought.
All women are queens.
I love
But that
that
was
meme.
great. Saw 3D, so good. I'm probably most excited to rewatch that again just for a good laugh.
But
Even though I
yes,
have 3 other
obviously
films
when-
ahead of it.
Yeah, but again, you get like Detective Hoffman just going like, full insane. He goes
full
sicko
insane
mode.
style.
He like turns, minus the sunglasses, he turns into the Terminator. And it's just like, where's Jill Tuck? I will kill every cop and innocent person in the city. Even if I have to nuke it, I will do it.
That
I
would have been
will
a
kill
hilarious
everybody
ending if he
just to
drove
get to
away and the
kill
whole
Tuck.
city just gets annihilated by like a homemade nuke he made in like the warehouse.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Gordon pops up and attacks him from the back seat.
God,
Anyway,
that would be hilarious.
Your number 4?
My number 4, Saw 5.
Oh, Saw 5. We got them swapped.
It has, like, that one honestly had, like, the more fun, for some reason, like, detective side plot to me. I kind of like the whole, like, Peter Strahm, like, trying to find out who Hoffman is, and then Hoffman's like, you know, I'm going to try and make the FBI think that Strahm's been doing this the whole time. And they're just kind of, and he's just kind of having fun with it. He's just like, and then he's like, Agent Strahm, go into this glass box.
Go this glass coffin or else.
Crushed. And then
that's a pretty good ending, though. That was a really good ending.
That is a great. That's probably why I give it a 5 instead of a 4, because that ending is honestly pretty, no pun intended, killer.
It's like actually a fairly decent ending, like a genuinely decently good ending. Anyway, my number 3 is Saw 2.
Yeah, Saw 2.
Yours is the same.
Also,
yeah.
Yep.
I know it's
Very
not as good as
fun
Saw,
opening
but
trap.
it's decent.
It's serviceable for like a sequel, I guess.
Yeah, it's servable as a sequel, and I can't say like I didn't hate it. It's got its moments. I love how much of a dick the big guy is. He's like, fuck all you guys stinking your own bed, I don't like it, and I'm leaving. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
And then you get like that real good trap to open up the movie to make you go, all right, here we go. The torture porn.
Yep, it's
that we all know and love.
It is.
There's honestly, it's a good trap too. The Venus flytrap, it's super good.
Yeah. I do also think the detective side of it's actually pretty good. It's unique where, they already got Tobin Bell, but like they're interrogating him and then watching him get out of the situation's pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're like, and John's like, I just want to talk to Donnie Wahlberg, especially since he's the more inferior Wahlberg of the brothers. So I need to talk about why he sucks ass so much.
Yeah, they couldn't get Marky Mark, so they got, fucking Donnie instead.
Because he was a lot cheaper. He was a lot cheaper compared to Mark.
He's dollar store, Walmart discount, Mark Wahlberg.
Yep. And he's like, if you talk to me, you'll see your son again. And then the twist is that the game they were watching on the TVs
in a safe place.
Wasn't happening. And
then the son was literally in a safe. Funniest shit in years.
Whoa.
Roasted.
And then Donnie Wahlberg's like, shit.
I just got pranked.
Yeah, Amanda just goes out and be like, you just got punked. Yeah. And then whoever was hosting it at that time was also there like, yo, he got punked. Wow. And now we're going to say game over and shut the door. Bang.
My number 2 is Saw 6.
Also Saw 6.
What is it to say? We've already kind of sung its praises earlier.
It
great
is.
Traps. It's a lot of fun. This is where Hoffman goes full Insano style, or the beginning of full Insano style. Also has actually a really good ending where you think that he's gonna die because he's in the first bear trap, but he actually gets out of it. He cheats the trap and gets out, which is pretty cool.
He actually finds a way to get out of it because he's like, oh shit, I can't get the key in.
Because Hoffman's a real girl boss.
Yeah.
Jill wasn't a girl boss because she didn't get out of the trap when it happened to her. Hoffman did. He's the girl boss.
Yeah, he was more smart because he was able to break his hand and then, get it into an area where there was bars where...
Yeah, so it couldn't open the jaw all the way.
Yeah, but it rips like his cheek a little bit.
And then he becomes the Joker.
You get that great
he becomes literally me.
He does? Okay. I want a Joker movie now with Hoffman as the Joker and not Joaquin Phoenix. I would love that scene where he goes on to like the Johnny Carson equivalent of Robert De Niro show and just be like, you get what you fucking deserve.
I unironically would want to see that as well.
I want that. And also to have Robert Pattinson in that as Batman. And then, Hoffman teams up with the Riddler and they just like bomb Gotham City like in the Batman.
Literally, this is Batman. We would like to play a game.
If a bunch of people from a healthcare company coincidentally disappeared, where do you think they would be at?
Solve this formula, this mathematical formula to find out. It will lead you to the answer.
And maybe you will save the people.
What happens if you take in the cost of money and the fucking, what is it, the payment plan they have, but yet also decide to add in the will to live? What would you get out of that outcome, Batman? Tick tock.
The clock is ticking. You got an hour. Oh, and also don't forget too, this Boss 6 has got Roderick in it.
That's true.
Roderick
They
And
rules,
did.
he
man.
shows you why he rules.
Exactly. Yeah.
Burn in hell, bitch.
You killed my father, you motherfucker. And another also great final
Roderick?
shot of like
Roderick,
William Easton's death. He looks like a bunch of just like goo. He looks like a combination of both toothpaste and tubby custard from the Teletubbies with the guts.
also got a note, Roderick, also girl boss, because he did pull the lever to kill his mom. Couldn't do it. Not girl boss. Roderick,
Yep.
girl boss.
Yeah, I mean, she was like super mad about her husband dying, but she was like, I can't do it. And then Roderick's like, I can.
Because I'm a girl boss, and he pulls it down.
Roderick
you killed
rules,
my
yeah.
father. You're not a girl boss.
Yeah.
Burn in hell.
Yeah, the uncut version would have also had him after saying motherfucker saying, Roderick rules, bitch.
Perfect. And number
Mwah.
1 is the first Saw, because it does...
Saw.
Because it's the most actual horror movie out of all these movies.
It's, yeah, like the most, it's like the movie that actually tries to be a film
Yes.
for the most part.
And
Yeah.
isn't just trying to be what they think a Saw movie is.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't know that because that was the first Saw movie. There's no way they would have
Exactly.
been able to predict what a Saw movie was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a concept from both Lee Winnell and James Wan, and they also had like a little, I don't know what you would call like a short film, like Saw .5, where they show like the concept off a little bit. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I kind of do now at this point,
Oh,
just
I
to
just
see
wanna
what they
know.
were.
I was going to
going
watch it,
with.
but they didn't put it on the 4K of Saw, and that pissed me off. Like,
No.
why would you not do that?
That does suck.
It really does. Probably it's on YouTube somewhere.
Really does,
honestly.
yeah.
It probably is on YouTube.
But it's not about that. It's about the principle.
Yeah. It's about sending a message.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Saw, and that's all I got for the. How about you, Cole?
First Saw, yeah, good overall made horror movie that's also a thriller. Kind of has some of the best funny bad acting
Has
because
like,
this movie was made for like $1 million, and you get Lee Winnell, who's a screenwriter, to start acting, but his delivery's so bad,
Unironically,
it has charm to it though.
exactly. Yeah, that's why, like, unironically, I think even though he's a screenwriter and like he's not an actor and really can't act for shit, he
Mhm.
still gives a better performance than like half the people who are in these fucking movies, and I think that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
yeah.
My name is really fucking confused. What's yours? You could have put me in this room. Or my favorite is like when Lawrence Gordon's trying to find out who he is. He almost sounds like an innocent child who knew he did something wrong, but is like trying to play it off as he did. Was like, you know who I am.
Ellie. Man,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Love me some Saw.
And then when
I
they're
love
playing
Saw,
catch with the tape, and then they look like they just look like two drunk frat bros after the party ended. It's like, hey, dude, throw me the tape. He's like,
Yeah.
But yeah, big hype for Saw 10.
And a great
Same
twist at the end too.
Oh yeah, pretty good. With that and that iconic soundtrack when that drops when he plays the Zepp tape. Ooh. Oh,
Yep.
so good.
Oh. Okay,
Mhm.
that's also okay. Before that's one more thing also that I hate about Spiral was when they play the Hello Zepp. It wasn't during like the reveal. They just did it at the end to be like, oh yeah, we got to do this. We got to do the Hello Zepp theme because it's the end of the movie. We don't have like any. We already had the reveal of Jigsaw, but we're not gonna play it there because we want to make this a serious movie.
But we also want the theme, so we'll just slap it at the end.
Yes, and we also need the theme in there, so we gotta like just slap it in there at the end.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
But with all that said, it's the end of the episode, which means it's
Yeah.
time to get to the recommendations. And Cole, since you since you did the modern pick and I did the
Yep.
retro pick this episode, that means you get to do the retro recommendation.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go to a different route. Obviously, I did a horror last time, and this movie I found was like a comedy. It was a movie that I found both on like that anti-letterbox bottom 250, and I was like, I've never heard of this, but this might be interesting. It stars famous comedian Carrot Top,
Oh,
chairman of the board from
Oh,
1998.
I bet board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
It's actually Board.
I
And
know.
the picture shows him where he's got
A
a suit
surfboard.
on top and he's got swim trunks on the bottom and he's surfing because he's business on top and party on the bottom.
You didn't get the
This
reference.
looks,
I'll have to send you the clip later.
this
Yeah,
looks fucking awful.
Well, that's what we do here, Timmy.
That's our thing.
I mean, I know, but
That
like
is our
in
thing.
particular, this looks awful. Yeah. So
All right, so I had two different recommendations in mind, which was going to depend
Okay.
on what you recommended. But then I remembered that my actual recommendation existed, so I scrapped that plan. I'm doing this instead because the next episode's going to be October, so it only makes
Okay.
sense that we talk about a Halloween movie. So we're
Ooh.
going to do 2012's A Halloween Puppy.
What?
That's what it's called. You should look it up. Look it up on Letterboxd. A Halloween
Please?
Puppy.
God damn it! Of course, it's David Ducato.
Yep. So if you don't want to get spoiled for Chairman of the Board or A Halloween Puppy, how about watching those movies in advance, and also ask us questions and like and subscribe. And also check out Timmy. He has a podcast and a YouTube channel and all that other stuff. If you want to plug them in now, Timmy, before we leave.
I mean, you already did that for me. Yeah, YouTube channel, TimJongUn Productions, podcast, Far Off Films podcast, all the dumb shit. I do them.
Yeah.
Watch it, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Or if you also have Letterboxd, he's got a Letterboxd too.
Yeah, he does.
That
But we're not going
too,
to tell you
yeah.
about that one. You're going to have to find that one on your own.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find some
It's a
keywords
secret.
in there.
Yeah, it's a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was like some YouTube channel that you could find that you could use to input as my Letterbox account, if only. Yeah,
If
crazy.
only. Unfortunately, there is
Interesting.
none.
If only.
And
Yeah.
you all have a good day, and happy Morbius, everybody.
Happy Morbin time.
Happy Morbin
A
time.
Happy Saw Spiral.
Happy Deathstalker.
In the Book of Saw.
Happy grapes, everybody.
Deathstalker Book of Saw.
Happy
Yeah.
hashtag I heart racists. That's how we do it, baby. For all the racers.
Comment below if you're a
NASCAR
hashtag
number
racist.
Yep.
Mhm.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.